Welcome to part 6 on the Scorpion Bullwhip. Let's get this skid figured out. So I'm over the cutoff wheel and I'm over the Sawzall. They worked, but they didn't work great. I've got to cut this shaft out still somewhere shorter so I get these rails apart. So I bought myself a tool. Went up to the Hobo Freight and got that. So these sleeves still turn, so I put the vice grip on so they don't just spin and spin and spin with the bandsaw. And I don't know, gotta just have at her. Yeah, I think the press was a good idea. So here's that one I just showed you on the press, and you could see how bad the corrosion was in there. It's just flaking off, piling off. You saw how stuck it was. So, I don't know. I think hammering on it, we would have just bent the rails, but with the press you can get in, you can support it right next to the shaft, and that way you don't bend the rails. And where are you going to get another set of bullwhip rails? Well, now that I've got this thing torn all the way down, I think the next step is to get after the wheels. And I've done some evaluation on them, and I've kind of separated them out by wheels that feel a little chunky, like this guy, out to wheels that feel basically brand new. I don't have enough brand new wheels or even almost new wheels to make a go of it, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of greasing. And as suggested by several people in the comments, I think Alaska Railroad was one of them, I bought a needle greaser tip. So some of my junkier wheels, like this one, these are going to be for experimentation. This doesn't even turn right now. Let's see if I can pop that seal out or get some grease in there. And once I get some kind of method figured out, I'll move on and I'll grease up all the wheels. And then I'll count up how many I have that feel like they're turning, at least halfway decent once they're greased. So here's what I got going on with these wheels. It sucks. So I can't get a needle greaser in there. Yeah, I cleaned them before I tried. I just grabbed a random one. I can't get a needle greaser in there. There's a steel backer on the seal. I can't pop the seal out because it's captured by the flanges on the wheel itself. So that sucks. So I thought, well, let's see what it takes to take one apart. So I went and drilled out all the rivets, and then I air hammered them and flattened things out. I took one with an absolutely seized bearing, and now it's stuck again. So anyways, I knocked it apart, and there's the bearing, and I could do that, and I could pop rivet it back together. And I was just about to order a bunch of new bearings and, make sure I had the right pop rivets. And I sat down at eBay. And lo and behold, just like Steve McLean commented, there's someone named Chapman on eBay that sells lots of these. And I bought a lot of 15 wheels. You can go on eBay and look at the price if you want to try to find them. Problem solved, except they won't be here till next week. So, in the meantime, I've still got a ton of other work to do on this thing. I do have my 1144 steel, and I do have the seamless tubing I need, and I'm going to start getting the Pararail put back together. I've got the chain case out. I've got my new bearings with the 1 1/16 ID. Haven't even taken it out of the bag yet. Somewhere out here, I've got a chunk of hex stock that I'm going to make a drive shaft out of. So, long story short, I got all my stuff except for the new wheels. So I'm going to get going on this, and then next week when the wheels come, I'll blow the skid apart one more time. Shouldn't fight me so much. Nothing should be seized. And put it back together with the new wheels. Right, well, it's Thursday night, and I'm done machining the shafts. Well, machining, drilling, cutting, drilling, and tapping. Here's a look at the skid. Looking at my wheel placement options. So obviously on any of these shafts with three wheels, one's going down the center. And the two wheel inside shafts, I think I'm going to be able to keep them between the drive lugs. And it just doesn't make sense to put them in the middle to the outside of the lugs. They get so close together, it might as well just run one wheel. So this is closer to the original design with them outside like that. And up here, yes, this does clear the arm, but takes two hands to show you. But I've tested it. So with that said, I'm going to start figuring out the sleeve lengths. The sleeves are the spacers that hold the wheels in place. Get those cut, and I don't know, maybe bolt it together loosely until the real wheels come. Happy Friday! Well, I'm still working on this skid. So I left it off probably 3 seconds ago on the video. I had all these wheels and spacers made. Do have a little bit of a go back in that I have to cut some off the spacers here to to fit the arm on, and there'll be a couple machinery bushings as well just to keep it from sliding side to side. But the next thing I'm going to work on is the back axle. So for the back axle, I managed to dig up some plastic wheels that are roughly the right size. They're maybe a 1/4 inch too tall. They're going to be just fine. My original back wheels are, one's just shot, and then they're not as tall as a typical Pararail wheel. They're shorter, so they're kind of a Bullwhip only item that I don't think I'm going to find real easily. But what I am going to find real easily is 3 of these, 3 new bearings, and then I'm going to make up spacers. So let me get going on that, and I'll bring you back when something interesting's going on. Okay, I whittled out these spacers on the lathe. 1 3/8 solid aluminum. Machined a step into them for the 6205 bearings, and drilled and reamed them for a slip fit on the shaft. So that's all good. I got 2 more to make for out here in this area, and then a little top hat to make for outside the wheel. So right now I'm just determining those last lengths, and then I just want to say I'm very deliberate about using these aluminum spacers. I think if you use plastic spacers on that back axle, I think they're going to pound out. That back axle takes a heck of a beating. That natty tastes like victory. So I got it done. All the modifications are made. It's bolted together to test fit and prove the concept. Everything looks good. I am waiting on the new wheels. So the new wheels will be here hopefully early next week. Steve, the guy that sold me the wheels, if you want to plug on the channel for your business, you know how to contact me. But I just want to say, please hit the subscribe button if you want to see this Bullwhip project continue. And I want to thank the patrons. Their support on the channel is a huge help for me on this. So the patrons are Aaron Shriver, Michael Johnson, Matt DeFossi, Charles Myers, Alex Sherrill, Brandon Parasil, Dan Hasnute, Mike Jerish, Louis Brady, Jeff Eisert, Brian Peters, and Mitch Klebel. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate your support, and we'll see you on the trails.